Today I will talk about the timing of the aesthetic surgery. You know, those are all operations done mostly under general anesthesia, and every surgery has its healing period after the operation. Swelling, wound healing, some stitch removals, hardness of the stitches. So after the surgery you need some time for everything to settle down and get the best result. So usually the timing is determined by the patient's expectations and the surgical plan. If you want to have a good result and just totally healing before the summertime, prepare yourself for the surgery at least 1 or 2 months before your summer holiday or summer trip. Because you know, if you ask for breast surgery, you have to use some garments or some specific bra after the surgery for the healing of all internal stitches and every tissues. For the nose job, let's say you use some splints and some swelling. Usually just 1 month after the surgery, we do not recommend you to go for swimming. Just deciding and knowing all those details, if you plan to have your surgery done thoroughly before your summertime, you have to plan your operation before, just let's say during the springtime, so that you're ready for your summer holiday. Let's say if you plan your holiday in July, if you ask for breast augmentation surgery, imagine that you have the surgery, we one night hospitalize you in the hospital, and we follow you for 1 week. 1 week after the surgery, you can do almost more or less whatever you wish, but don't forget there will be some swellings. You have to use some bra. There may be some small pains, some limitations of the arm movement, so the healing period goes down like this. More or less, almost all of my patients asking for plastic surgery, I do not recommend to do any sports 1 month after the surgery, because anything that increases your blood pressure will end up with swelling and edema. So that's why at least you have to reserve 1 month before your holiday to ask for the surgeries if everything is so smooth and without any complication. For nose job, let's say, if we do a nose job, we keep the tapes and splints for more or less 10 days after the surgery. There are some swellings, internal swellings. You use some sprays and drops. So again, at least you have to reserve 1 month, at least before your planned holiday, to have the surgery. Even though 1 month will not be enough for total healing, because normally we expect everything to settle down more or less one year, but 1 month after almost all of aesthetic surgeries, you can do your holiday. Sporting or activities, swimming are free just after that time. Aim of rhinoplasty surgery is to get normal, good-looking noses with good functionality. That means the breathing. Breathing is very critically important, and in almost more than 80% of all, especially in my rhinoplasty cases, we do some septoplasty or turbinate surgery who has some septal deviation, turbinate hypertrophy, some allergic problems, which ended up with some airway blockage. During rhinoplasty, we open this deviation, we correct the turbinate problems, applying radiofrequency, to end up with functional nose, good breathing nose. So for this again, in septoplasty, when we correct the deviation, dramatically after the surgery, patients can breathe. Just let's say 1 or 2 weeks after the surgery, patients' breathing capacity dramatically improved. But in turbinate hypertrophy, if patient is allergic to something that we do not know usually, we apply radiofrequency and to make them smaller, open the bones of this turbinate to eventually open the airway. The healing process of those turbinates will be a little bit longer because it ends up with swelling, so it may need 2 or 3 months totally for those turbinates to settle down and get their smallest position situation. To decide a good functional nose job with perfect breathing, you have to have the surgery at least 1 or 2 months before your planned holiday trip. Yes, sometimes we do rhinoplasty in summertime, but the main limitation is that in the hot weather, hot times, it's difficult to carry the splint, use the sprays and drops. For the patient's comfort, it is not that recommended time for rhinoplasty, but some patients ask this even just day after their holiday trip, they come and ask for this surgery. But if you plan this before your holiday trip, please ask it in the springtime, so that during that time you heal thoroughly, and in summertime you can spend your holiday freely by enjoying your summer holiday.